all is definitely set for GAVI to join Chelsea. Hello, everyone, and thank you for being part of this podcast. It's the Chelsea chapter for you with me, your host, Abu Kals, as I'm more than ready to bring to you the latest. And thank you for being part of this. And this is definitely the time when we talk about transfers, who's gone where, who's remaining at the club, and not forgetting who is the club buying. Anyway, it is the Chelsea chapter, and if you've tuned in, then I must say thank you. So, actually, whom are we talking about? We are talking about GAVI, who is a Barcelona football player and has been heavily linked to the club Chelsea. And who is this gentleman? Why is he being linked to Chelsea, and why is he a hot cake? Because very many clubs definitely have come and said they definitely would take this gentleman. So you'll remember that Pablo Martin appears Javira actually, or you can call him Gavira or Gavi. Known as Gavi, is a Spanish professional football player who plays as a central midfielder for La Liga club Barcelona in the Spanish national team. In 2022, he won the Golden Boy Award and received the Copa Trophy awarded by France Football during the 2022 Ballon d'Or celebration. Anyway, I will remember that this gentleman was born on the 5th of August, and that was in 2004. Isn't it? Yeah, he was born 5th August 2004, making him 18 years old, still very young. He was born in Los Palcosia, and that's in Spain, and he's only 18 years, and definitely that is one of the big reasons as to why many clubs want him. He's talented and he's seen for the future. He can help any club for quite a long period of time. And FC Barcelona is his current club. That's where he's been. That's where he is, and he also been playing for the Spain national team. And his height is 1.73 meters, which is bad for a midfielder. And the awards won, as I told you, is the Copa Trophy, and his full name, Pablo Martin Piaz Gavira. Anyway, let's dig deep into this. Let's talk about this gentleman and what's happening. Is it worth him bringing him? Because Chelsea has had a big problem in the summer, in the after the general transfer window. We'll remember that the co-owner of Chelsea, Todd Bowley, who actually stands as the former technical director of Chelsea in his own regime. Anyway, he splashed quite a lot of money ever since he joined the club Chelsea. He splashed over 600 million pound. And we should know that you should put in consideration that despite that amount of money, which is quite a big amount of money, you have to put in consideration that FFP rules can take their course anytime. So with that 600 million pound that was definitely splashed by the club Chelsea, books have to be balanced, and that's why we could see this summer transfer window a lot of Chelsea football players are being sold. So what we need to understand is books have to be balanced, selling and buying, as FFP rules state. We could be seeing some football players going away, and don't be surprised if some of your favorite football players are not going to be part of the club anymore, as the club is also looking at reinforcement and selling quite many and buying many, because the expectation was not met in the summer, in the general transfer window, when Todd Bowley bought these football players. He had quite a lot of expectations with the likes of Joao Felix, who is on a short-term loan. We don't know whether his contract will be extended, but possibly hope so. But nothing has come to conclusion. But there was no option of buying. So, but it could be negotiated, But we are not so sure. And also looking at the likes of Mikhail Mudryk, he's a very wonderful player, most excellent player, but he's not managed to perform. Whether the problem is we don't know whom we should give the blame, whether it should be the manager or it's the players themselves, because a player like Mikhail Mudryk was in Shakhtar Donetsk and was playing quite well in the Ukraine Premier League. He was hunted for by very many clubs, including Arsenal. Man City also wanted him, but he ended up at Chelsea. And when he went to Chelsea, he did not perform as expected, and that was quite a big blow for the club Chelsea. And also looking at players like Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez was also heavily linked to Chelsea and Man City. Man City wanted him. They wanted to inject a lot of money, but Todd Bowley said you're going nowhere, tied him and definitely brought him to the club Chelsea, but not enough results have been brought by these youngsters. And when you compare to how they played, a player like Enzo Fernandez, he won the World Cup. He played quite well in the World Cup. But when he joined Chelsea, not enough results have come out from him. There must be a problem somewhere. Could be the coaching, could be the management, and also could be the players. But we can't say it's the players because all these players are coming from very good clubs, and some who have not come from the best of clubs that have always been exceptional football players. That's why we should see and tackle this contract, GAVI's contract. And we see how good this could definitely be, and whether it's worth having GAVI. And when you see a big problem that happened with Chelsea is also the technical, not anymore the technical, but the co-owner of Chelsea, Todd Bowley. We remember that Todd Bowley entered the dressing rooms of Chelsea when Chelsea was playing last season, and we had quite a lot of football stars and also football legends saying it is definitely wrong. Though at that point in time when he came out, even before that, it will be remembered that the former manager, not even the one that was there before, Graham Potter, came out in a press conference and said, I know people are blaming me for the bad results, but I do not control Chelsea team 100%. It's just me and my team. It's not only me. I've got other people who control the club. And also, this also came in at a point when loads of sports personalities, sports analysts came out and said Chelsea is not being controlled. Chelsea as a football club, and also the manager is not doing his job just because Todd Bowley is interfering with direct football. He should not interfere with direct football. He should give out the money to the managers, and then the managers definitely can do the job. They can do what they are hired for doing, not the owner of the club coming in and telling football players how to play. That's not the best of advice that any football analyst can give to a club. And also, even to know that was a problem, the reason as to why Thomas Tuchel left Chelsea was that because Graham Potter definitely needed to interact with the football players, and definitely didn't go on quite well. Thomas Tuchel said, no, that's not how I handle my business, and that's the big reason as to why Graham Potter was sacked. And there came in not Graham Potter, and before I was talking about Thomas Tuchel. That's why Thomas Tuchel was sacked, because he did not agree. He was not very happy with Todd Bowley going into the dressing rooms at halftime, dressing room of the club at halftime, and rubbishing off these football players, because he has a mode of play that he definitely wants his players to play. And now, after that, after Thomas Tuchel was sacked, Graham Potter came in, and he experienced exactly the same problem. And as if that was not enough, we definitely saw things deteriorate, And but all this was always a rumor, and we had no evidence about it. It was just a rumor. I know we talked about it and said it could be happening, but for some reason we couldn't believe that it was actually even happening. But what happened was, after all that, after that definitely happened, what brought all this is when Chelsea had to sack. They say it was a mutual agreement, but he was sacked. Thomas Tuchel, no Thomas Tuchel. After Thomas Tuchel, there came Graham Potter. Then Graham Potter, after Chelsea sacking Graham Potter, there came the legend Frank Lampard. In Frank Lampard's regime, that's when we definitely knew that there was something definitely wrong, because it came out with Kepa coming out and saying that he always came. Todd Bowley came and said a few things at halftime. Definitely, everybody was wondering, why is he doing that? He should leave that for the managers. That's why everything definitely came in. So we could see Pablo Martin Piaz Gavira coming to the club Chelsea, and he's also experiencing the same problem, because football players are not liking it. So if the situation does not change, these young talented football players are not going to perform. I don't know whether you know what I mean, whether you understand what I mean. There must be a fair ground. There must be a favorable. There should be favorable situations for these football players to perform excellently, because you can't tell me that Enzo Fernandez is a bad football player. You can't tell me that Mikhail Mudryk is a bad football player. You can't tell me that Fofana is a bad football player. All these young players are definitely very good, but there is something that was definitely not going on quite well in the last season. So him as a football player, Gavi as a football player, I must say he is a good one. He's a great one, and he's a very wonderful one. But for him to come to the club Chelsea, and let's see his worth. Let's see what he's worth on the market value, and I will remember that Gavi's current transfer value is between 77.1 million euros to 128.6 million euros. And I know the club Chelsea can afford him, but now it's not about affording him because Chelsea has the money. But is it going to be balanced in the books? Is it going to be against the FFP rules? If that is okay, then Chelsea can definitely have him. But with all these young squad players, all the Chelsea football players are definitely quite very young. I think also Chelsea needs a few more experienced football players, a bit old players in their 30s, because this is just a football player who's around 18 years old, and there are loads of young football players who need a lot of guidance. But he is a great one, and looking by his statistics, definitely he's played quite well. Let's see his stats. Okay. The fact that he's managed for Barcelona, he's played 34 games, and this was in season 2020-2022, and he's also played more than 31 actual games in season 2022, season 2023. That definitely shows you if Coach Xavi is giving him all this gameplay, that definitely shows you how good a football player he is, and the problem is not going to be about his form. He's always on form, but the problem is he going to be on form when he gets to Chelsea? That's where the big problem could definitely be. Otherwise, I think if Chelsea get him, he's going to be a very good one. And please do not forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on anything that we definitely have to bring to you. As we are talking about Pablo Martin Piaz Gavira, who is known as Gavi. He is a young talented football player, and he's proved when he's played for Barcelona and when he's played against big clubs, he's definitely showed that he can compete. At a very tender age, a very young age, 18 years of age, he's got quite a massive experience with quite big clubs, and if Chelsea can sign him for quite a long period of time, tie him just as Chelsea bought Mikhail Mudryk for quite a long period of time, he just gave it quite a lot of money, million. Definitely, that's quite big money. It was even actually more than that, wasn't it? If they can do the same, then it could be great. But when Todd Bowley was asked about these young football players, he said he's looking at building a great Chelsea. Not now, but players for the next generation, next future. We could see Chelsea being a top club in 2 or 3 years. But I mean, any club would want a big impact as soon as possible. So we could see Gavi definitely joining Chelsea, and let's hope all will definitely go on quite well for the club Chelsea and for Gavi as a football player, and also as for Barcelona, so that they can definitely release him, as Barcelona is looking at getting Ilke Gundogan. Definitely that will be much easier for the club Chelsea to get this young lad. Anyway, thank you for making it a point to always be part of this. Please subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you don't know me. So to do if we've definitely go to bring as long as it is Chelsea related right up here the Chelsea chapter with me, your host Abu Kals, as I tell you, thank you and goodbye for now.